Welcome to week 4. We're going to be talking about the other 90% of the conversation in this week. So, as we look at these two people that are sitting here, what are they saying to each other? What do we know about their expressions? Can we tell from their expressions whether they are friendly toward one another, what kind of a conversation they're having? How about this guy right here? He's got his arms crossed, and he has a fairly neutral face. Is he angry? Is he upset with us? Is he waiting for us? Is he saying, okay, anybody on my team? We're going to go to bat for you. What about this person? Her arms are crossed too. Do we assume that she's upset? Or maybe she's determined? What do we think about her from her expression? What about all of these people? They've got their arms crossed. Maybe one's posing for a picture. Maybe he is very confident. Maybe she is very confident. Or maybe she's very determined. Maybe one is very cold, or he just really wants to get away. Perhaps another's frustrated, or perhaps he's sad. Do we know? What we know is that they have their arms crossed. We can describe what they're doing. We can't describe or assume that we know the meaning to whatever it is we observe. Is this person pouting, very determined, or gauging whether he should jump into the pool or not? We just don't know from his expression. We know that he has that his eyes seem steely. We know that his lip is protruding, but that's what we know, and that's all we know. Again, we can describe the gesture. We can only assume what it means because it's through our filters. We can notice and we can ask. We can say, you crossed your arms when, or you paused when, or your voice seemed to just sparkle when you... And what's that about? Remember, it's about the client, not about what might be something that seems like something we would do because we've had something similar, perhaps, happen to us. We only know what we observe, and we need to ask for the client. Our essential coaching question this week is, what do you want in this situation? What do you really want? And what else? We want to find out what our client very specifically, really wants out of this situation that he or she is posed. The reason that he or she's in our office. What do you really want? So even if we as coaches have had that experience and we think we can jump ahead and say what this is about and what we should do next and what our client really wants, it's about our client and about his or her situation and the filters through which he or she looks at the world. So we really want to pause and ask that essential coaching question, what do you want? And we're going to talk about reframing. That's our activity this week. We're going to talk about two types of reframing. Reframing in context and reframing meaning. So context reframing is when we're going to use with generalities. When we hear someone say, I'm too X, or she's too Y. I yell too much. I miss the bus too often. I seem too lazy. when or she seems too late. My employee is too lazy, or my employee is too easily jumps into the situation without thinking about it. We want to talk about that context and reframe that with some other generality where it is an appropriate time when the person yells too much. The person yells loudly. So yelling a lot, a good idea if it happens at a football stadium, right? Yelling a lot is great in a football stadium. Very appropriate there. So we can reframe that. Meaning reframing. When we want to use a meaning reframe when the situation really can't be changed, but the person, our client, needs a choice. So whenever X happens, then I do Y. Or when I do X, it means Y. In this case, I miss the bus too often, and then I can get a ride to work with my colleagues. And that allows me an opportunity to have a conversation with them that I wouldn't otherwise have. Maybe we can set our entire day by the conversation in our car on the way to work. So we can talk about a meaning reframe that is helpful, or we can talk about a context reframe that isn't an all or none. Reframing is about offering choice. The essence of a reframe is to give the client choice or choices in thinking about a situation or behavior, whether it's a context or whether it's a meaning reframe. Reframing offers options, and options are always better. Choice is better than no choice. So let's have fun this week with reframing.